So, welcome back. It's been a long time, but welcome back to Tea with E. Welcome back to the channel, and as I've said, welcome back to Tea with E. So, if you have been around here for years, you will know many years ago, I'm not quite sure when the last time I actually did a video, a Tea with E video. I'm going to have to, do you know what? Should have researched this before. Let me look and see how long it's been since I filmed one of these. 5 years. It's been five. That's so spooky. That's like it was meant to be. So if you guys are old school around here, you will know that I filmed these Tea with E videos every Sunday. I think it came out. Correct me if I'm wrong. It used to be a Sunday. And I used to just get a cup of tea, put the camera on and have a chat about something that was either on my mind that week, or we'd have particular topics to talk about. You guys had an input in what you wanted me to chat about, and I really enjoyed it, and I just stopped doing it. And so I thought, let's bring it back. I've been wanting to bring it back for a little while now. I've had like a list on my phone of topics that I've wanted to talk about, and I put little things up on Instagram of what would you like me to talk about, and I just never found the time to just start. And it's now March, so let's kick off the Tea with E's back in March. It's not going to be a weekly thing, by the way. This is going to be ad hoc, as and when I feel like it. It might be like once a month kind of thing on a Sunday where we just sit and have a chin wag. And today I thought I'd do a little story time. I did touch upon this in my vlog, if you watched my weekly vlog on Friday. But this week has been quite an eventful week for the music world, for the pop world. Boy band 5, or man band probably now, they have reunited as a 5-piece, and they are back together and doing a tour. And I thought I would tell you the story of when I worked with them when I was like 16, 17 years old. So yeah, let's tell the little story. Okay, where do I begin? So let's take it back 25 plus years ago, back to teenage Em, who had aspirations of being a music journalist. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work for Smash Hits magazine. I wanted to be the editor of Smash Hits magazine. That was my goal, or Big magazine, or Fast Forward, or you know, the teenage magazines. And I went to college and I studied media studies, and in that there were 3 modules. So you had video, radio, and then the journalism format, the print format. And that was the one that always really interested me. I did like the video aspect, and I did enjoy the radio, and we did lots of projects on that, but writing and putting like a magazine layout together was always my favourite thing. And so I was trying to hone my craft. So whilst I was at college, I started up the college magazine. Yes, a bit like Press Gang. So started up a college magazine, got loads of people involved, and I wanted to focus on, you know, music, that kind of thing, like music on the scene. So I'd go out to gigs in the local area, that kind of thing. It led me on to working for the local newspaper. So I actually worked for the Coventry Telegraph for a little while as part of their, I think it was called Go, the section. So it was like a little insert, and it came out every week, and you had like gig reviews and what was going on, interviews, that kind of thing. And so yeah, it sort of led me on to different paths. Being at college, I could sort of dabble and be like, well, it's for the college magazine, or oh, it's for my studies, that kind of thing. I turned into a little bit of a, what's the word? The only word I can think of is blagger, but that's not, basically I was not afraid to ring round people and ask for a scoop, or getting an interview, or if so-and-so was in town, can I come and interview them? So I interviewed a lot of bands back in the day for the college magazine and the newspaper. So I remember there was a big bus that came into Coventry. I think it was like, the radio station was Kicks 96, and there was a big bus in the middle of Coventry Town Centre, and Steps were first on the scene. It was their first lot of gigs, and I got to be on the bus with Steps, and I interviewed them for the newspaper, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. And so during that time, I put together college magazine. I was also doing coursework, and as part of that coursework, I decided to develop a fanzine. So back in the day, back in the 90s, I don't think it's a thing anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm so out of touch with anything now. But back in the 90s, when boy bands, pop bands were going crazy, you'd have, you know, the mega fans that would go round, follow the bands around, go to their gigs, go stand outside the hotels. You'd become pen pals with people. Yeah, if I think back, I actually talked about this with Brummy Mummy of Two when she invited me onto her podcast. We talked about this and how, because you'd put your address out there. There were people, like I did it myself, like there were people that would want to be pen pals with people, and you'd write your address on this little bit of paper and you'd pass it round to all the fans, and then you'd create little pen pal groups between you. I did that with Boyzone, actually, not with Five. I did it with Boyzone because I really loved Boyzone back in the day. Again, I did speak about this when I was saying about how I met my friend and we were both the biggest Boyzone fans and stuff. Anyway, that's, you know, by the by. So there was that phenomenon. Fans would just want to connect with one another, and you had fan clubs back then. I don't even think you get fan clubs now, do you? I don't know. But back in the day, there were, like, you know, your Five fan club, your Boyzone fan club. I remember being so excited as like a very young teenage girl, like 13, 14. Who remembers Paul Nichols, the actor? He was in like The Biz, he was in EastEnders. Every teenage girl fancied him. And I wrote to the fan club, and you're supposed to put in a self-addressed envelope, and then they would come back to you, and it's all a photocopied letter with their photocopied autograph, but so excited. So, you know, when you're young, you want to be part of something, you want to feel part of the fandom, if you like. And so for my college coursework, I decided to develop a fanzine for Five. And because I was already interviewing bands and I was already speaking to record company labels and to PR managers and that kind of thing, I struck up a really nice relationship with a PR manager at RCA Records. And she sent me, I remember she sent me loads of stuff to do with Westlife when they were coming out. So I've got like signed CDs of Westlife and posters and stuff. I never actually met them, but she said about the boy band Five were coming out, and that's how we sort of developed that relationship. And so I thought, right, let's start up a fanzine. Bearing in mind, I did like their music as well. So when they came out, I was like, actually, these are pretty cool. They had like an edgy, you know, feel about them. Not quite as edgy as E17, because there was always that divide of like Take That and E17. I was never, I think I'm a little bit, I liked them, but I was never in that kind of field. I was always just like, I like Boyzone and that's it. But you had that almost like divide, you know how they do with like Oasis and Blur, and it was Take That E17, and E17 with the bad boys, and Take That with the clean cut boy band. And then Five came along and they were like naughty boys, but they were, they never struck me as naughty as E17. Do you know what, does that make sense? Anyway, to those of you watching that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but there will be a select few that are watching that are like, I understand, I get it. But anyway, so Five came on the scene and I immediately loved their music, loved what they were about. I was already talking to the record company with all the other boy bands and interview things that I was already doing for the college magazine and for the local newspaper. And so I decided to set up a fanzine. So I would do this fanzine every month. So I started this from home on my massive computer. I remember, oh God bless, I remember my dad used to help me with it as well. And I'd sit there and I'd lay out this magazine with pictures of the band and facts about them and all this kind of stuff. And so I created a fanzine and people would subscribe to it. So I think I used to charge like £1, and that literally covered the envelope and the paper for me to send people this fanzine. So people would send me like a quid check, right? And I would do this fanzine like once a month, maybe a bit more. I can't even remember. It's been such a long time ago. But they'd send a check in and then I would create. So I did it all. I laid it all out. I basically created a magazine and had lots of info in there of the band. And I would go to the photocopy shop. I would photocopy however many, you know, magazines. I mean, it started off at like, I think 20 or 30, and then it got to like about 100 or something. And I would go there and I'd photocopy these pages of this magazine. And the girls in there used to get to know me because they were like, oh, it's time again. I'm like, yeah. And I'd be like there at the machine, like doing these photocopies. And then I'd take them all home. I'd staple them all together, fold them all up. That's where my dad used to help me. And then I'd put them in the envelopes and I'd send them off. And yeah, I created my own magazine or fanzine for the band. And so after that, I got to know the management a little bit more. And then they were talking about the fan club and how, you know, they'd started the fan club, but they wanted some help with it. So I was like, well, this is perfect. This will like be great for my course. Could integrate it. I could be like, look, I've done this, like work with the band. I've actually, you know, made friends with the management, all that kind of stuff. And it was just, I don't know, it was just the right timing. And so 17-year-old me went to Surrey. I don't even know how my parents allowed this, but they were very trustworthy. I think they must have spoken to the managers. But they allowed me to go and stay. So I was put up in Surrey by the management, and I stayed in Surrey for a couple of weeks to start off with, to help and like start off the fan club. And yeah, if I think back now, I think that was a lot for a 17-year-old girl. There was a girl, I remember there was a girl there that was starting it up, and she was so lovely, and we just sort of worked together on it, on ideas and what the fans wanted and all that kind of stuff. And it was a really great experience, and I got to see a lot. I met the band. They would come to the offices and they were great. They were really nice guys. I don't have a bad thing. I've got no scoop on bad behaviour. I just remember, so if I go through the members of the band, Sean was very quiet but very lovely. Scott was very chatty, very nice. Abs I think was the kindest. He was always making sure you're okay. Did I need anything? Am I okay? That kind of, he was a really nice guy. Rich was very attractive. And yeah, I think when you're a young impressionable teenage girl, like being around him, I was like, oh, you're so pretty. But again, he was lovely. And Jay, obviously he was the oldest member of the band, and he had a, I don't know, he had a manner about him that was just, you knew he was like the authoritative one of the band, if that makes sense. But equally, they were just all really nice. I don't have a bad thing to say about any of them. And yeah, I mean, I saw friction, well, not friction, maybe friction, I don't know. I suppose when you're together all the time, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be bickering. It was more bickering that I saw than anything else, just between lads. And, you know, I'd go to shows with them. So I'd go with the managers and them to shows. So I went to BBC when they did like programs like the National Lottery, and I got to see behind the scenes of what went on. I'd go to concerts, and like it's not all glamour. It really isn't. People look at pop stars and think, oh, their life must be amazing. But when you're backstage, they're so tired. And watching the Boys Own documentary that I watched the other week, I can fully appreciate how tensions can happen, and just, they're so tired. They're worked like dogs, you know. And And I saw that firsthand, but it's only now when I look back at it, because when you're 17, you don't really know, do you? You're just watching it happen and you're just like, oh, okay, well, this is what goes on. And it's only now that as I've got older that I'm like, cool, that's a lot. That is a lot for them to go through and to experience at such a young age. And so yeah, I got to spend lots of time with them, and it was a really great experience, and it just sort of gave me that foundation to like hone my craft and get confidence into what I wanted to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I never became the editor of Smash Hits magazine or Big magazine, and I never pursued journalism, because the year after I did all that, my dad passed away, and it just, there was just like a sequence of events, of things. It just never transpired. I never had that drive or desire after that for a long time, and I just tried to carry on with life as best I could. You know, when your world changes so dramatically, so suddenly, everything changes, and like the world like tilts, and yeah, my passion for it just died a little bit. And yeah, I got a full-time job, and I kind of just forgot about it. But it's always been there, it's always been in the back of my mind. And I think this is where I get this love of social media. Don't get me wrong, I have a love-hate relationship with social media for a lot of reasons, but I think I've poured in my passion from my past into YouTube now, and when I was doing Instagram more, and that became my passion project. That like reignited it back up again, and because it never really went away. But you know, you grow up, and your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations just change. And you know, like a lot of things in life, you can think, oh, what if that never happened, what if this, what if that, you know. I mean, if I'd have had a different path completely, I may never have met Chris, you know. I may never have settled down, I may never have done YouTube, I mean, you just, you know. And so you have to look back at the memories fondly, which I do. And it's a great story to tell, you know, that, you know, I've worked with 5, and I did continue to work. Like, I did the college thing, went there for 2 weeks, worked on the fan club, and then I did continue to help as and when they needed me. And then, like I say, life took a turn, and it just kind of fell by the wayside, and I kind of just drifted out of that, you know, world, if you like. Yeah. I've just remembered as well, MTV award. I've got a picture of me in the MTV award that they won with the astronaut. It's an awful photo because I have next to no eyebrows. What happened in the 90s to everybody's eyebrows? But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to dig that photo out, because I think it's embedded in the attic somewhere in a photo album, but I wish I had that to share with you. But yeah, I've got like, we were at the MTV Awards, and I've got like the big, you know, like it had like a big globe, and it was like a wobbly MTV. Yeah, I got to experience a lot in that year that I worked with them. I got to experience a lot of strangeness with fans, I suppose. I remember one fan interaction at a gate. So I was there with them, and one of the fans gave, I can't remember who they gave it to, but it was one of them, gave them a little, it looked like a pill box, like a silver trinkety pill box, and inside, I can't believe I'm telling this story, I don't want this to sound terrible, but honestly this is the kind of thing that happened. Inside the pill box were her toenail cuttings that she had taken to give to them, which that was not like an unusual thing. Like, a lot of these things happened. People would give them locks of their hair, toenail clippings. Yeah, I saw a lot of strange stuff, but also equally I saw a lot of amazing stuff, like some amazing things that fans had done, and like books that they'd put together and stories, and yeah, there were a lot of lovely things as well. And so yeah, I saw a lot of things, experienced a lot of things, and it's one of the memories that I will treasure, you know, that I got to experience a little bit of that world. That world is not for me. Absolutely not. Am I excited they've got back together? Yes. Will I go and see them in concert? Yes, absolutely. I've, you know, me and my friend have already been talking about it, and we'll go and see them. I haven't been and seen them when they were like a three-piece and stuff. It's just not, I don't know, it's just not been on my radar. Like, I've appreciated the stuff from the past, but I've not been one to like continue to go and see, you know, like I've not seen Boy's Life, you know, where you've got Brian McFadden and Keith Duffy and all that kind of thing. But I feel like this is very poignant, this is very nostalgic for me, and now they're all back together, I feel like I will go and see them in concert. I know I touched on it in my vlog, and I was like, oh, maybe I should try and interview them for the channel. I'm not one of those people anymore. I could not ring up and go, hi there, I'm Emma from the college magazine, and can I interview, like, just no. And also they wouldn't remember me from Adam, would they? They would, like, they've seen thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. They would not remember me. But it's a lovely thought. It's a lovely thought, but no, I'm quite content with just buying my ticket, going and see the show, probably get a seated ticket if I'm honest, because the thought of standing at a concert now, nah, not for me. I want a nice seat, a nice drink, enjoy the show. I'm already thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to stand for however long when we go and see Mel Robbins. So me and Kyla got tickets to see Mel Robbins in, is it July? I think it's in July. And I'm thinking, we've got to stand. It'd be great though, it'd be fine. But yeah, I'm more of a seated concert person now. But anyway, where was I? I will enjoy seeing the show, and it will bring back lots of fond memories, and I wish them all the best. I hope it goes well. I hope that, you know, now that a lot of time has passed, I don't know if things went on, why certain members wouldn't join and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. I can only assume pressure, and it's a lot, isn't it? You don't want to throw yourself back into the limelight if you are not fully equipped to deal with everything. But I'm sure they've had lots of discussions, lots of talks, and let's also face it, they're a lot older now. They're in their late 40s now, got children, settled down, like some of them, and they're at a different phase of their life now than when they were like young teenagers, when they were in the band. I mean, I am not the same person I was when I was 17, 18 years old, and so I think they are probably better equipped with the right tools of life, and knowledge to make that decision and go back on tour and get back together and just experience it again for however long it lasts. And I wish them well. I won't be creating a fanzine, unfortunately. I have no idea if they have a fan club though. I might Google that and see. But I wish them well. I hope the concert goes well, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my little story time of how I worked with the boy band 5. I think it's been quite the buzz this week, and so I thought this is the perfect video to bring back my tea with E, bring back my chats, and I hope you've enjoyed. So anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, which will probably be a vlog next week. And yeah, have a lovely weekend in the sunshine. Got my sunnies out. Amazing. So enjoy. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.